See, he's been lane dominator. I checked the stats. He's been picked 3 times during the last major. Has won 2 out of 3 games, which is pretty impressive. When I was theory crafting how to counter like Vibrant Heal, he was like top 4, top 5. I like Sanking. I like Spirit Vessel carriers, especially Invoker, Timbersaw. Did I mention Leshrac? Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. But,
doesn't matter, yeah. Go ahead.
Sanking, so that's 4. And I think Bane is decent way to deal with the heal. It's just like you also want to have your other spells, not necessarily maxed out, like Brain Sap is fine. It's pure damage. You also want to put multiple points in a Nightmare, lower the cooldown on it. But not enough team fight, something that Panel talked about in this game. They have a lot of silences, they have a lot of control, but the Tidehunter should be able to get the Ravage off. He is burstable if they don't overlap their spells, if they manage to play around that Kraken shell, but we'll see.
The battle begins.
We will indeed. And Sumail, position 1, Nature's Prophet. I mean, we saw this from EG quite a bit, from South America as well at the major, and it had, I would say for the most part, pretty good success until the finals, where it was a true shellacking of Gaben levels, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, we'll see how this Bane fares. Like you said, Enfeeble, a spell that has been changed about 10,000 times throughout the history of Dota, it feels like, but the name has stayed the same.
Yes, when Bane was picked, the first thing I did is I better check what his abilities are. Maybe there was a shadow patch, so I don't know what's going on. It's, you know, cast speed reduction, which is... I don't know what it is. Why is that in the game? But
I think it's cool.
We have it.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things that they're going to add into items at some point, and it's like one of those. It's almost like a beta test to see if it's used. So far, it has not been.
It's been tested 3 games during the major, so yeah, not a lot of testing.
Indeed,
not a good sample size. They decide to swap things around on OG, so they are putting a Mirana with the Nature's Prophet on the bottom lane, and Gambit, they are responding to it. They want to have this Dragonite against Nature's Prophet, starting with the Dragon's Blood, have extra armor, extra regeneration. You don't care too much about that harassment from the Treants. Blightstone that Nature's Prophet buys.
Up top lane, yep. Cold Feet did connect on Ein, but Seb got that creep advantage. Back into the trees he goes, so position 3, Tidehunter, as we talked about, but playing in a safe lane. Do you like how they've set up the lanes here for OG?
They wanted to dodge, but Gambit had a good read of what's going to happen. Maybe once you hit level 2 on OG, you could potentially swap things around easier with the teleportation from Nature's Prophet, so you always can stay one step ahead. Tidehunter getting extra regeneration and armor from the tower, so that's good. Not gonna get harassed too much. Playing into 2 range heroes is a bit tricky. Ancient Apparition doesn't provide you with much. What I'm looking forward to see is the mid matchup. Lorinov against Thompson. Lorinov played the game extremely well, then died after picking up the BKB and Dagon 2 times in a row. No buyback, but his rotations were on point. Love the first 2-3 items.
Yeah, I agree. It just felt like that it fell apart instantly, kind of out of nowhere. But like you said, the buyback was kind of a big deal. I mean, he popped his BKB super early in every fight, too. I find that interesting, because obviously we have all the vision, so things...
It's easy for us, indeed.
For sure. But I
That's
do like
why Chad is so smart as well. They also see everything. Judging.
Well, sometimes they do. Sometimes. But yeah. I do like this combo. I've seen it quite a bit. I would assume Thompson might have to go for a boring build into Yules, but it does set up the Aether Remnant into Arrow, which will get a lot of easy kills in the relatively early stages of the game once you pick up...
That's the combo, indeed. So 2
of course,
points.
It is Thompson, so he could go something
He
weird,
could go stats and dissimulate. Yeah, you never know with this guy.
Yeah, indeed, indeed. But in terms of the CS, extremely even right now. And we'll see. I mean, he doesn't really have the same kill potential that he did last game. Like, if you get that level 6, maybe you can do some burst damage, but I feel like Puck fares pretty well. I mean, what do you think of the matchup overall, just the 2 heroes?
I think Void Spirit... It's Void Spirit favorite until there is level 6 on Puck. Then there's a rotation. You will always struggle against the coil. But Void Spirit's attack animation and the shield early on gives him a slight advantage. I would call this 57,
57.3.
Yeah.
Okay. Got it, got it. Perfect.
Until there's level 6 on Puck. Then Puck starts to play a bit more aggressive. You have like Lion rotating, and Void Spirit suddenly gets into trouble. It's what ruins the most of the spirits. Afterlife this time around, having a much better game on a Dragon Knight. He's not sitting at 0 CS 5 minutes in. 18, almost at the top, so much better game for him.
Yep, that's true. But we'll see if he ends up in the trees again this game. That's a very important factor that we have to consider. Once he gets that Blink Dagger, he becomes very tree happy. As Seb is going to get slowed here from Mr. Dream himself. Ein doing a good job of blocking off, trying to give him the kill, but Ein will take it with that Brain Sap. So first blood, the way of Gambit onto Fatty McFatty Tidehunter.
Pure damage from Bane, kicking in there. Maybe Sumail can grant a wish to Afterlife. Okay. Sprout into Treants. He's still going to be inside the trees.
Yeah, that's a good point. Dream. Getting pressured here by No Tail, but we'll be fine. So, do you think OG needs to change their lanes, or is it just the rotation from Soxa going to be enough? Let's see if he can hit an arrow. This would be pretty big. He's going to be spotted, though, and now TP's coming in from Immersion. But the arrow will connect onto Ein, so it'll pick up the support Bane.
Sumail even TPs.
Yeah, well, they give him the kill. All right, you made the rotation. We'll give it to you, big boy. No problem.
Didn't spend any gold. It was just ability TP, and he goes back to the bottom lane.
Okay. Yeah, in terms of his CS, it's 21-9 versus, like you said, Afterlife having a great time, but in the safe lane, 28-5 right now. And I feel like DK, I know he's kind of considered one of these like boring type heroes, but I feel like there's almost no variation in the. Oh, we're gonna see Coil mid, level 6 onto Mr. Thompson himself, but this looks to be a very easy kill. He's silenced for a little bit more. Took a little bit longer than I thought, but they do find that kill on Thompson in the end. And Soxa not able to really do much here.
And he tips it. He tips and brings two extra heroes. It's not a solo kill. Mirana on a mid lane, arrowing the catapult wave just to be able to, there's no push coming out. We mentioned it, like Void Spirit, he really struggles against the Coil. Coil will be up in another 50 seconds, so Lion could potentially stick around and try to get another kill. What they want to do is have this level 6 on the Drow Ranger so she can go back to jungle, triangle. It's not being stacked at all at the moment.
Illusion.
And Dream has now made his way to the bot lane, and we're going to see a Nightmare setup here. And with 4 members of Gambit, this should be a pretty easy kill, but rotation from No Tail, not really be able to provide too much, though. It ends up being a nice kill onto Sumail for Gambit.
It's a good setup. Bane can set things up for Dragonite stun, Lion initiation. He could potentially sleep Tidehunter in the team fights. They will have Treants to potentially unsleep him, but we'll see what happens. I think in this game, it's not even... you don't go for Enfeeble until the later stages. Nightmare, too good. Cast range gets increased. The Brain Sap pure damage is always going to be great. And there's the setup one more time.
Yeah, with the Earth Spike to follow, Lornov expends the Coil. And this will be another easy kill for Gambit. So off to a pretty good start, 4-1 advantage for them. Not huge in terms of net worth, but we can see that the damage is being done in the bot lane with both Dragon Form and just Drow's presence alone. So
something
not quite level 6 yet.
Has been very popular during the last major is whenever you have a Dragonite, you can put pressure on multiple sides. Like Dragonite is there, you need to bring numbers to be able to kill him. And on the other side, you have 2 to 4 other heroes just trying to get some damage on the tower.
And right now, Thompson, despite dying, is actually top in net worth. That's kind of crazy.
And try to guess what item build he's going to go for.
Well, I spoiled myself. It's going to be the Echo Saber.
It's a BKB plus Orchid. No, it's not. I mean, he can disassemble it and go for it, which potentially is really good against like backlines. You have a good jump on Lion. Bane set things up. Even Puck, like Puck these days, they don't build into Yule Scepter anymore, so they don't have way to dispel things.
He has to be doing that, right? As Nature's Prophet all comes out, Thompson trying to chase, but Immersion is there. But Sumail TP's into the midst of things. Immersion looks to be what they have their eyes set on right now. Decent blocking from Sumail to start things out. More Treants to come in. Yeah, with that Astral Step and Aether Remnant, Thompson cleans them up nicely.
Thompson always finds a way to just go for one item build. Before, it was Ethereal Blade in the mid lane, whether it was like Gyro. What else was he playing with Ethereal Blade Rush every single game?
Every hero, literally every hero that he would... You said Gyro, right? So,
yes.
Who else did I see it on? Was it PL? No, that doesn't seem right.
Has been killed.
Yeah, he would pick it up
Puck.
seemingly
Yeah,
every
he
game.
was definitely going E-Blade with Puck.
I think Monkey King. As weird as that is, I saw him at least in a pub pick that up. It felt like he was just trying to hit the item out on literally every hero just to make sure that it was good or bad. But it usually was good because it is Thompson playing.
Another
See
coil.
Soxa. He's going to break it, but the Earth Spike is there into the right clicks and the Waning Rift of Lorinov.
May you ride on Nether's
They end up getting
Mirana
another
also
kill here.
gets ruined by a coil. You can't really do too much.
I'll
Yeah.
take that.
Well, Immersion's going to run right into Sumail. No Tail is in the vicinity, though. Earth Spike to follow. Afterlife, Dragon Tail's there as well. Ein trying to put himself in decent position, but the rotation from Mr. Thompson has cometh. They get the Immersion kill, and now the chase is onto this Bane Elemental, who is level 6, but feels like he won't be able to get off a good Fiend's Grip here. Gets off the Brain Sap to start. Thompson with the Astral Step faking it a bit, but with that Gush and Aether Remnant. That's a double kill for him. Can't quite get the Courier, but will likely be the Tier 1 tower now.
Now they bring the numbers. Ravage is available. Good on Tidehunter. Extremely tanky with the Nature's Prophet. They should be able to take this tower. Meanwhile, in the top lane, Afterlife trying to put some pressure while Drow Ranger is just in the jungle at the moment.
Yeah, net worth in the favor of OG right now, but like you said, at the very least, Afterlife has been having a much bigger impact on this game so far versus the previous one. So, I mean, they basically opened up the exact same way in the draft, right? So, it's good to see that Gambit, although they're behind right now in terms of the money, feels like they're not falling into the same mistakes as last game, at least not yet. But the trees are still there, of course.
Yeah, you can always fall back to the trees.
Sumail getting pressured, and that's going to be enough for a kill from Gambit again. So Sumail,
A bit too deep.
here.
He has Witchblade completed. They can go and collapse on a mid tower. Ravage once again, still available. They didn't pop it. They have a Catapult Wave. Ancient Apparition Blast is available. But I believe Gambit will try to defend it. They have Puck Coil. Fiend's Grip is available, and there's the sleep on Tidehunter. Wake him up with the trees, possibly. There's no one around him.
I don't know if they even want to initiate on him, though. They're going to get a Breathe Fire off as Seb trying to protect this Catapult at all costs, even pop the Fortification to make sure that even more damage will be applied here. But the counter Fortification for Gambit is there. Moonlight Shadow, see if they can set something up here. Yep, they're going to find Immersion right off the bat with that Dissimulate. He gets off the Hex, though, but there's the Gush. And likely one more right click. The Anchor Smash is enough from OG. So 5v4, and they get the Tier 1, despite these TPs coming in for Gambit.
This is pretty much a perfect rotation from OG. They get the tower. They don't use any of the long cooldown abilities. Finally, Thompson finishes his item, goes into Echo Saber. I think he's just gonna do that, like keep the Echo Saber until there's enough money to buy a full BKB, disassemble it, and yeah, turn that into Orchid, because wants to be able to protect themselves against the Dragonite, mostly Coil, just to get out of the fight.
All right, fair enough, fair enough. I mean, the fact that it's disassemblable makes this all possible, as we're going to see yet another Coil expended onto Soxa. He's been the Coil target the whole game, it seems like.
I recently played a game like that, and it's just... I can feel the pain, you know? You're like, why are you doing this to me? You know, there are better targets to go at.
I mean, even with the nerfs to Coil cooldown, it's still really low cooldown.
It is. They added only extra 10
It's funny
seconds.
because in the Major, like, people stopped picking this hero after it was picked like literally every game, and then they suddenly discovered it as a 4th, 5th pick, and it still looks just as strong as the previous Major, despite all these nerfs.
It's just overall a strong hero. Has great scaling talents. He went for a 25 damage. Maybe if Witchblade wasn't as strong, I don't think it would be picked up that much.
Now, Seb working towards his Blink Dagger, about 300-400 away from finishing that, so that'll give some nice initiation possibilities for OG. And, I mean, they're not really... It is a Nature's Prophet lineup, so how well do they scale?
Nature's Prophet is a mean late-game carry hero. Like, once you get that Maelstrom BKB timing, AC Satanic, you can stand your ground against some of the heroes that usually you don't expect. It's definitely a good AC game against this heavy right-click damage from Dragonite. The Drow Ranger, you want to give some extra armor to your teammates as well on top of it. So Seb going into Blink Dagger next, needs 1 CS to finish it off.
Yeah, and Afterlife picks his up basically at the same time, so each respective side will have their initiation ready to go.
Yeah, difference is Tidehunter has a full hood.
Yeah, that's true. He is definitely more farmed right now, so quite tanky indeed. And that's actually a little surprising considering Afterlife has... I mean, he went for a lot of these smaller items, I guess, the treads into Soul Ring, but I feel like he's been farming relatively well so far.
Because he's not hiding in the trees this game as much as he did in the previous game.
To be fair, he didn't start doing that until about 3 minutes from now, right? That's when it became Treant Protector for the most part. As we see Moonlight Shadow now for OG.
They see him. They caught a glimpse of him and Immersion.
Yeah, and they're going to back out as a result. I'm not sure if this blink was spotted on Afterlife, but either way, we'll have it now. Going for the BKB next. Dream, on the other hand, has the Dragon Lance going for the Yasha. And of course, you talked about Sumail and his build, the Witchblade and Maelstrom will be next.
Yeah, they have a decent front line with the Tidehunter, some Treants. Void Spirit will cause confusion. This item build gives him a lot of tankiness. Magic Wand, Raindrop, Echo Saber, 15 strength that you get from the item. Line, still no finger charges, didn't use it a single time. Same goes for Bane, keeping the ulti for a very long time. He was level 6 pre-10 minutes, didn't manage to find an opening.
Yeah, I mean, slowly but surely the net worth is going in OG's advantage, so it feels like if Gambit doesn't start using this Blink Dagger to initiate with the help of Lornoff, who has the Witchblade himself, of course, and is again going BKB, second item. See how that works out for him. I mean, this...
I'm just thinking they have no silences, they have one stun. Maybe he thinks that he needs to be able to jump Thompson first and jump into backlines, because they can't burst this Tidehunter. I think he's a bit too tanky at the moment after finishing off the Blink Dagger. Shiva's Guard, Aghanim Scepter queued up, Suns fan.
Wow, that's
he's
your ready
build,
for the late game. Hell yeah. Hell yeah, man. I think Ags is severely underrated on this hero, actually. The AoE Gush, very strong with the talents. What is it? Yeah, that 120 Gush damage at 15, and then the extra minus armor at 20. I mean, they have... That's a lot of right-click, potentially. I mean, this isn't really a right-click build from Thompson, but...
From others, yeah, like... Nature's Prophet is gonna hurt.
Yeah, absolutely.
No Tail. If we check his item build, he is going Hex. Never mind.
Go back to No Tail, please. I'm really
No Tail.
Oh, Astral Step into the Aether Remnant. They're gonna be able to clean up Immersion pretty much instantly.
Help of the Dominator. Queued up on a position 5 Ancient Apparition.
Yeah.
I've been trying to find some sense in it. I think it's mostly gonna be if there's no Nature's Prophet around him, he needs to be able to unsleep the targets. Like, you need something, possibly, to unsleep the Tidehunter in a fight.
So he's going to be putting his pets to sleep constantly.
Yes.
I see. Very cruel man.
Say
this
good
No
night
Tail.
to your doggy.
All right. Moonlight Shadow now. OG looks like they want to reinitiate into this triangle area, but there are sentries placed in the vicinity. Immersion gets off the Hex. Coming with the silence into the coil onto Thompson. This looks to be an easy cleanup for a Gambit. They only lose the Bane, so definitely good trade for them. Maybe
Overextending there. There was no team to back him up. Sox is not fooling around this game. Same item build, pretty much. Once that E on this got tired of getting coiled every single fight.
How would you nerf this item?
The recipe cost needs to be increased.
By?
For sure.
How much? Does
By
it need like
at
the,
least 500.
Does
It's
it need
too
the
strong.
pipe treatment?
Yep. Maybe the other thing would be give it limited charges. Let's say 3 to 5. You might need to crunch the numbers. And then it's just like you get HP, you get the mana from it. Because being able to use Aeon Disc 7 to 10 times during the game just doesn't feel normal to me.
Yeah, I agree. It feels like something that people are just picking up every game now. It feels like an item that shouldn't be an every game item.
Because there aren't too many Dispel mechanics. I've seen people trying to pick up Brewmaster, and then you have AoE Dispel, which is nice. One more time.
Is dead. I mean, with the global presence of Sumail, it's going to be really hard to get away for any of these supports, really. As he's locking in on his BKB now. And that's probably go time, I would assume, when both he and Thompson have
That's
theirs.
a big timing. Yeah, that's Roche timing for them. Potentially, they could even go inside a pit. Thompson disassembled his Echo Saber, has BKB flying to him, so he can afford to play a bit more aggressively, can get out of that coil. Still no Ravage. We have not seen a single Ravage for 19 minutes.
He is going to get destroyed here. with that Ice Blast finishing him off from No Tail. Way too much damage, and this is why AA is such a value pick.
Now it's Roche time, because they got a big kill, 25 seconds without the Dragon Knight. He has a buyback, but I don't think they contest. BKB timing, as we mentioned, one on Dobson already done. This Roche goes down relatively quickly. Some minus armor coming out from Tidehunter. Blightstone not in the inventory. Not a lot of value. Well, it's all about that small items. Maybe throw out the magic one, put the Blightstone in.
Yeah, I would agree. I would agree. But he, you know, Sumail's a little rusty. It's okay. It's okay, Lacoste. Don't need to backseat too much here, you know.
Yeah, it's easy for us. You know, we see everything. We see that they're not coming close.
All right, they
Not
do get
fighting.
the Roche in the end. And this is a 7K net worth lead for OG, so they are starting to run away with this game right now. And again, Sumail not quite done with his BKB, but it's relatively close. Iron in the meantime, yeah, he's going to be spotted out again. And, well, he did dodge the arrow, but
Nicely done,
that's
but
about all he
dies
did.
in the end. Still no Fiend's Grip. Had it ready. So right now, I believe if my math is correct, 2 minutes cooldown, has 6 Fiend's Grip available 20 minutes in. He's been stacking those.
that is... okay, you joke. We haven't seen one Finger of Death or Fiend's Grip the whole
Or
game, right?
Ravage.
That, okay, but OG are winning, right? They don't need to
That
have
is
it.
correct. I feel like Gambit needed to play a bit more aggressive with their support duo. Smoke up, try to make stuff happen around the map. Just one sleep into either Hex, Impale, even Puck's Silence could guarantee a kill.
I feel like when Afterlife got that blink, that was kind of the timing to be a little bit more aggressive, but chose not to. Just kind of methodically pushing down these towers. But like we can see, I mean, again, we have the vision. 8K net worth lead for OG, pretty freaking large at 20 minutes. And a little bit of damage done to the tier 2, but with those TPs coming in from OG, they're just going to have to back now. Now top lane, Ein again getting caught and brought down, but Afterlife showing that blink dagger into the Dragon Tail. There's the Ravage, first one of the game, but Sumail still dies. Buyback now into the Bane. Thompson popping that BKB, Step getting slowed perpetually, and he gets stuck inside that coil. The Kraken Shell does activate, but this is going to be too much damage to survive. So a 2 for 2 with the buyback coming on the Bane, but again,
They
two
still might go
supports
in.
for 2 cores.
Arrow,
We'll see.
will connect.
Arrow. Yep, this will be a dieback onto the Bane Elemental. AA ult destroys him, and now the chase is on potentially, but the Waning Rift from Lorinov has very little mana to work with. Still has his BKB available. Soxa looks to be fine, and No Tail extremely healthy as well. And Lorinov continued to chase, wants to get that Witchblade activation. Waning Rift into the pit. It's actually going to be surrounded here. Has to be a little bit careful. Dodges the arrow. BKB finally popped. He will be able to clean up No Tail at the very least. Thompson. Yeah, there's not a whole lot he can do with that little of mana. So, I mean, I feel like a good fight from Gambit overall. They get all the cores, basically.
Yeah, they do. They didn't get rid of the Aegis, which will expire in 2.5 minutes. So OG will try to find some kills. BKB popped.
Yep, Dream and company. Sumail TP's in, and despite that BKB, that was the first charge as well. Just too much right-click damage.
Once they get on top of her, no damage coming out from the Drow. First Ravage. Decent Ravage, you know, just overall. It's the whole team was not around. I love the aggression.
Gush
he
into
catches
arrow.
it.
The random-ass sentry in the river is going to be the death of Afterlife.
Wish granted. They send him to Afterlife. I've been thinking, you know, Nightmare on Dream is a possibility this game.
Yeah, I mean, that does work pretty well. I like that. And you can put in the Afterlife is there as well, right?
Sure.
I feel like they're all kind of connected depending on your theories in life and death. Maybe we need a little purgatory action as well, as Seb is going to pop that Shivas for fun just to make sure that it works. Very important to make sure that there's no bugs in the game, with your inventory especially. But Sumail working towards a Satanic now, and he is starting to get quite large. Top net worth in the game by far.
That Satanic gives him pretty much the second life. Thompson.
Yeah, he's
Getting
going to get
initiated
Hex
on.
initiated on, but there's the Soxa. Yules into arrow, setting it up himself with the Aether Remnant to take off the Nightmare. And that is going to be a dead Lion. Thompson pops the BKB, chasing Dream right now, but he's in the cover of the tier 2 tower.
Ravage in 5.
Yep, Seb pops that Shivas again. This time not on creep. Says, wow, they just blow up Afterlife. Wrong place, wrong time. But Coil onto 3 heroes. Lorinov pops his BKB, but they can't really follow this up with anything. Now that their DK is dead. So OG definitely coming out on top of there.
OG has a vision, so they see them coming from the base. Also not sure what the plan was there. They initiate on Thompson, who still has ages. I guess that's the thing with Thompson. You never know if he's just doing Thompson things and he's alone, or if he has a full team backing him up.
He has been caught out a couple times, in game 1 especially. And as we can see here, the AA Blast came in and... I mean, Immersion just got completely destroyed. The fact that you get the better of the trades in terms of the item usage as well. You got the BKB's charge taken out. Seb, you can see, jumps in. Well, by jumping in, I mean, he just waddles in. But really, the kill there is on Afterlife, who just was not on the same page.
He sees any trees, palm trees, the oaks. He needs to go in. He needs to check what's underneath.
As we
the coach is not very happy about this performance.
I thought that was a picture, but it was actually a replay.
He was not.
Very Stonewall there. Yeah, Thompson able to take out Emerge, and again, the support duo here for Gambit are just food for OG this game.
And no tail. I talked about the this Helm of the Dominator.
Did you get
he gets Ogre Vampire Mage, so some extra armor to protect against the Drow Ranger, which is real nice.
Did you say Ogre Vampire Mage?
Yeah, that's what the Jack KBBQ called.
Oh, I see. I mean, his face is quite hideous. That's true. Great animations as well.
It's a lot of armor. It's a bonus 5 armor. I remember when it was 8, maybe even more.
Yeah.
So OP.
Uh-oh, Afterlife in the trees again, but they're blown up. He doesn't have cover. Okay, now he's surrounded by trees, and it'll be the death of him yet again. His nightmare has come real.
It's just too funny. He always dies near the trees.
Looks like they're trying to jump Lorinov here, potentially. Does have that BKB. You can see the Orchid being used. He has to pop the BKB and run now. So again, that's a very low cooldown on the Orchid.
Doesn't care about the BKB usage anymore. 6-second cooldown, 6-second duration. And with Tidehunter, Dragon Scale, plus some extra damage from the Treants, they go for the high ground.
Yeah, and this is when things get really scary. Oh, the jump in from Seb, but he gets slept right away. Arrow's gonna connect, and again, another easy kill on a support. OG look very primed and ready to take this series 2-0, and yet another support. I feel like a broken record this game, but I mean, it is what it is. SNY picked up on Drow. We'll see how much difference it actually makes. They have to give this up. There is a siege there as well. A Blast coming in, so we have to see if Seb wants to actually jump in, but no, they're not going to connect with anything here. So full racks for OG, 16K network lead at 26.5 minutes. How do you think they look? Is this more Gambit kind of underperforming, or? I mean, they did play with Sumail like we talked about not too long ago.
I thought that the Gambit is going to do better. Like, Lorinov was once again having a really good game. It's just support duo that did not use a single ulti throughout the whole game, pretty much. 27 minutes in. Eon Disc now on Mirana. I love that. This is one of my favorite moves since Dota existed. Fake back, you kill the tower, you go back in, you set up a Observer Ward and a Sentry in their base. Not the kill that they wanted to get, but yeah, they're having fun.
I would like a Finger of Death and a Grip used, even if it's on a creep. I need to see that it works.
Yeah, maybe even on a Treant. I wouldn't mind seeing it on a Treant.
Absolutely. I mean, that would be great for Afterlife because he does love trees as well. So, all right, more Treants are made. And Sumail and company doesn't have Shard on him right now. Doesn't really need the extra push potential because they are just in firm control of this game.
Push now, they say.
Push them out of our base. More like it. Lorinov, a little bit of space there. But yeah. This will be a miraculous comeback. I mean, what do they need to do from Gambit? What's the best case scenario other than disconnections and all that good stuff?
I always try to find positive stuff. Suns fan.
I'm a very positive
Give me a minute. You got to give me a minute here to try to think.
All right. Let me start this out with. You punish mistakes from OG.
Yes, that's how you do it. OG overextends. They don't have any relocating abilities, displacement abilities, no Tiny, no Mars, no Skewer, nothing. So can't really do too much unless OG clicks the mouse to attack the tier 4 towers. There we go.
They can do it. Afterlife with the initiation. The BKB popped afterwards as well. Seb looks perfectly fine though. Sumail jumps in with his BKB and they're just destroying the supports again. Lion is the first to fall. Seb actually getting low here, but I feel like they've expended everything on this Tidehunter. But there's the Gush with that AoE Ags coming to fruition. And in the backline again, Sumail and, well,
he's in trouble.
They do find a kill here. Very big kill, but will it be enough is the question. Dream trying to maneuver himself back into his fountain. Gonna get right click. The Shiva should connect with that Gush as well.
Oh, he even catches the arrow. They try to go on a Tidehunter. They try to burst them, maybe force a Ravage while they have their BKBs.
Yeah.
Not enough damage. It's just they don't have it. And
That was not the best case
they might have one more fight. 55 seconds without the Draw Ranger, unfortunately. Does not have a buyback.
Okay. See, that's the first positive thing you said, that they might have one more fight in them.
That's what I've been looking for.
That's 4v5 now that the DK is respawning.
40 seconds. Blast connects.
Yeah, Sumail actually did not go AC. Went for the Mjolnir, so...
More damage.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is so annoying, Tidehunter. With the Aghanim Scepter
I'm
plus the
telling you,
Shiva's Guard, he's
it's good.
completely zoning them out. AA Blast, shooting the arrows inside the fountain, not letting them leave.
Are they fountain farming from that far range? That's pretty impressive. All right, smoke out from I. All right, I think we're going to see Fiend's Grip. I think we're going to see it. All right, the jump in from Afterlife. Fiend's Grip. Oh, wait. No, he didn't get it off. He gets Ravaged on the side, and the AA Blast will just destroy poor old Lorinov. Fiend's Grip still online, still available to use. Will he use it? They call GG. Will he use it?
No.
Will he do it?
He might die before the game actually ends.
Please use it. My lord. All right, they didn't
Rough
use
one.
it.